Good evening. You're watching The Nation at 5 right here on CNN News 18. My name is Toya Singh. It is a Thursday evening and we're about to walk you through all of the top stories playing out across the country. Our first story takes us down south to Karnataka, where we're starting with our focus on a controversy being drummed up around a bill that was passed yesterday itself in the Assembly. Now, what are the specifications of this bill and why exactly is it creating controversy? The BJP is alleging that certain sections within the way in which the bill is written are problematic. What is the bill? The bill talks about funding. It essentially says that in temples that are doing particularly well, which is temples that are earning more than 1 crore in donations, a certain amount will be given to other temples. Now, the BJP is alleging that the bill itself doesn't specify that money will be going from a temple to another temple. They're saying it is vague and it could be any institution. What they're also saying is that the bill allows for those who aren't Hindus to sit on the management boards of temples that are obviously Hindu structures. Now, the Congress has come out twice, yesterday with one clarification, today with another. Ramalinga Reddy, one of the most senior leaders, coming out, but also a response coming in from the Congress Chief Minister. We'll highlight that in a second. But they're qualifying again and again that this is a misinterpretation of the way in which the entire bill is written. They're saying it is money growing from richer temples to other less wealthy ones. Let's take a deeper dive into this story and the entire controversy. First, though, take a look at reactions.
Now there's a fresh law regarding the Endowment Act amendment that is being made. If you could elaborate more on that.
See, this act in 2003 it came to existence. In 2011, at the time BJP government was in ruling. In 2011, maybe Yediyurappa or Sadanand Gowda was Chief Minister. They brought some amendments. We have around 35,000 temples. A grade is 205 temples, and in 2000 A grade 205 temples, that their income is more than 10 lakhs. 10 lakhs, and they used to collect 10% from those people. From 2011, and between 5 lakh and 10 lakh, between 5 and 10 lakh, there are about 193 temples, B grade temple. They used to take 5% gross. They started in 2011, not me. Now I brought some amendments because we have 40 to 50,000 architects to improve their quality of life. For example, they are asking for housing. We can help at least every year 500 to 1,000 people by giving 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs like that.
राहुल गांधी देश में जोड़ो यात्रा करके घूम रहे हैं और उनके ही सरकार, उनके ही कांग्रेस पार्टी के सरकार कर्नाटक में डीके शिवकुमार और अपने सिद्धरामैया जो उनके चुने हुए नेता हैं, वहां पर उनके लूट के लिए, उनके लूट की कमाई और उनके एटीएम को चलाने के लिए आज असेंबली में एक बिल लेकर आते हैं, कर्नाटका रिलीजन एंडाउमेंट बिल, जिससे वो हर मंदिर से, हर हिंदू डिवोटी के जो उन्होंने पैसा दिया है और उसके उनके आस्था से 10% पैसा हर साल वो मंदिर से लूटेंगे और मंदिर से लूटकर अपने एटीएम को चलाएंगे। ये बहुत गलत है और ये इसको हम डट के विरोध करेंगे और ये एक तरह से दर्शाता है कि कांग्रेस अपने लूट के लिए किस हद तक जा सकता है, किस हद तक गिर सकता है।
Okay, a response coming in now from the Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. Let's take a look at what he had to say. He said that the allegations regarding the Karnataka government's amendments to the Hindu Religious Institutions and Charitable Endowments Bill appears, according to him, to be misrepresented for political gain. He said there's always been a mandate to create a common pool since the enactment of the Act in 1997. Now, we're going to bring you different reporters to bring you more context on this entire story. Our colleague Ritu is with us right now. Ritu, tell our audiences, please, first, just before we go into the controversy, lay out for our audiences exactly what the amendments are in this act, how they differ from what was there previously. Then tell us what the BJP is taking issue to, please.
Well, you see, for us to primarily understand is what is there in the Amendment Act and what was there earlier, then one needs to try and understand that what is the present amendment that this government has tried to bring in. So basically what this government has done is that the temples which are going to exceed an gross income of 1 crore will have to contribute 10% of that net income is what the amendment, the provision in fact says in this particular act. And then second point over here for us to understand is that those temple who exceeds with the 10 lakh of gross income from the temples will have to contribute 5% of that amount, which is not going to be more than 1 crore. So between of that 10 to 1 crore, they will have to contribute 10 lakh to 1 crore, I mean, will have to contribute 5%. So that is the provision that this particular government has brought in right now. But what was there in the earlier is that what the government is saying is that in the 2003 is that this particular act had come into the force, which clearly states that as per that earlier 2001 act, it clearly states that those temples, those big temples whose gross income is 10 lakh and will have to contribute 10% of that 10 lakh net income, and with those temples which are going to be between 5 lakh but not exceed the 10 lakh will have to just contribute 5% of that amount. So this is the clear indication that we had seen in this the present provision and what the earlier act in fact states. Now what the BJP over here is alleging is that this particular the 10% of tax that this government is going to collect from the temple is going to be utilized for the other religious institutions. Other institutions is what is the main allegation being made by the BJP at this point in time, to which the Congress government has clearly gave a clarification saying that this amount, the amount that the government is going to actually create in the mandate of the common pool, which will be utilized for the endowment temples itself. So in this particular provision, the present act that this government has brought in that amendment basically, so this clearly states that the amount is going to be used, one, for the development of the category C Hindu temples. Secondly, the amount will also be used for the welfare schemes for the priests and their families, because there was a long-standing demand from the family members of the priests that the income is very low and they are not able to meet their daily needs. In that way,
Ritu,
they don't have a better
Ritu, just
health
explain
schemes
to our
as
audiences
well. So
though.
that was the long-pending demand.
Ritu, after this clarification has come forward from the Congress that the money from more affluent temples is just going to be given to lesser affluent temples, it will be used, for example, to pay priests and priests' families. How has the BJP then responded to that?
Well, you see, the BJP still is arguing that this government has always been an anti-government, and through this amendment as well, it is yet another time for people to understand that this government is an anti-government, because it is going to use this 10% of the amount to the for the other purpose, wherein you see the government is clearly arguing, saying that it is on the paper, it is not vocally been said by the
Ritu,
government.
is the BJP saying that they have reason to believe that it will not be used for the purpose they're saying it will? Is there more of a story there? Why are they making this claim?
You see, what the BJP is also arguing often is by stating that 2001 of that act, which also says that the amount that the government is going to collect from the 10% of that 10 lakh will actually be used. This is as per 2001. Let me tell you this clearly, that 10% will be used for the other religious institutions purpose as well. So now what the BJP is arguing is that why is not that the government has made an amendment to that particular provision as well. They could have clearly stated that this is going to be used for the Hindu religious institutions itself. So yes, we will have to see, because one, the government is already, now we did see how that the minister himself, Ramlinga Reddy, openly calling the BJP leaders for an open debate as well, saying that to come forward and discuss what exactly is wrong in that.
गुजरात की गूंज सुनाई देगी कि नहीं? साथियों, आज एक प्रकार से सूरत सिल्क सिटी का विस्तार नवसारी तक हो रहा है। आज इस सेक्टर में दुनिया के सबसे बड़े उत्पादकों और निर्यातकों को भारत टक्कर देने लगा है, और इसमें गुजरात की टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री का बहुत बड़ा योगदान है। बीते वर्षों में सूरत के कपड़े की अपनी एक अच्छी पहचान बन गई है। यहां जब ये पीएम मित्र पार्क तैयार हो जाएगा तो इस पूरे क्षेत्र की तस्वीर बदल जाएगी। इस पार्क के निर्माण में ही 3,000 करोड़ रुपए का निवेश होगा। यहां पर कताई, बुनाई, जिनिंग, गारमेंट, टेक्निकल टेक्सटाइल और टेक्सटाइल मशीनरी, ऐसे हर काम के लिए वैल्यू चेन का इकोसिस्टम बनेगा। यानी ऐसे हजारों कारीगर, श्रमिक यहां पर काम कर पाएंगे। इसी पार्क में मजदूरों के लिए आवास, लॉजिस्टिक्स पार्क, वेयर हाउसिंग, स्वास्थ्य सुविधाएं, ट्रेनिंग और स्किल डेवलपमेंट की सुविधा भी होगी। यानी ये पार्क यहां आसपास के गांवों में भी रोजगार, स्वरोजगार के अवसर लेकर आएगा। साथियों, आज सूरत के लोगों के लिए एक और अहम प्रोजेक्ट पर काम शुरू हो रहा है। 800 करोड़ रुपए से ज्यादा राशि से बनने वाले तापी रिवर बैराज, ये तापी रिवर बैराज का आज शिलान्यास हुआ है। तापी रिवर बैराज ये बनने से सूरत में आने वाले कई वर्षों तक सूरत में वाटर सप्लाई की चुनौती, उसका समाधान हो जाएगा। इससे बाढ़ जैसे खतरों से निपटने में भी मदद मिलेगी। साथियों, गुजरात समाज जीवन में, औद्योगिक विकास में बिजली का महत्व बराबर जानता है। 20-25 साल पहले एक समय ऐसा था जब गुजरात में घंटों घंटों तक बिजली की कटौती हुआ करती थी। आज जो 25-30 साल के लोग हैं ना, उनको पता भी नहीं होगा कि हम उस जमाने में अंधेरे में जिंदगी गुजारते थे। जब मैं सीएम बना तो लोग मेरे पास आकर गुहार लगाते थे, किसी तरह शाम के भोजन के समय बिजली का इंतजाम हो जाए। आप विचार करो, 2001 में लोगों मांगणी शू करता था कि साहेब सांजे वाळू करती वक्त बिजली मळे एटलू करो काई। ऐसे हाल थे। बिजली उत्पादन में तब यहां अनेक मुश्किलें थी। कोयला चाहिए था तो हमें दूर से लाना पड़ता था, फिर विदेश से मंगाना पड़ता था। गैस से बिजली बनाते तो वो भी इंपोर्ट करनी पड़ती थी। पानी से बिजली बनाने की संभावना बहुत कम थी। इन संकटों के साथ गुजरात का विकास असंभव था, लेकिन असंभव को संभव करने के लिए तो मोदी है। मोदी है तो इसलिए हमने गुजरात को बिजली के संकट से निकालने के लिए आधुनिक टेक्नोलॉजी को बढ़ावा देना शुरू किया। हमने सौर ऊर्जा, सोलर एनर्जी पर बल दिया। हमने विंड एनर्जी, पवन ऊर्जा पर बल दिया। आज गुजरात में सौर और पवन ऊर्जा से बहुत बड़े पैमाने पर बिजली बनाई जा रही है। साथियों, 21वीं सदी के भारत में बिजली पैदा करने में हमारे परमाणु घरों की भूमिका और बढ़ने जा रही है। आज ही तापी के काकरापार परमाणु ऊर्जा प्लांट में 2 नए रिएक्टर राष्ट्र को समर्पित किए गए हैं। ये दोनों रिएक्टर मेड इन इंडिया टेक्नोलॉजी से तैयार किए गए हैं। एक बार भारत माता की जय बोल करके इस आत्मनिर्भर की सिद्धि के लिए गर्व से हाथ ऊपर कीजिए, भारत माता की। ये दिखाता है कि आज भारत कैसे हर क्षेत्र में आत्मनिर्भर हो रहा है। अब इस प्लांट से गुजरात को अधिक बिजली मिल पाएगी, यहां के औद्योगिक विकास में और मदद मिलेगी। साथियों, नवसारी हो, वलसाड़ हो, दक्षिण गुजरात का एक क्षेत्र आज अभूतपूर्व विकास के दौर से गुजर रहा है। यहां का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर लगातार आधुनिक हो रहा है। और जब मैं सोलार एनर्जी की बात करता हूं, અને જ્યારે આપણા ગુજરાત એટલે તો આપણે તો કાણી પાઈનો હિસાબ રાખનારા લોકો, બરાબર કે નહીં? હિસાબ કિતાબમાં પાક્કા ને? હમણાં મોદી એક બીજી ગેરંટી આપી છે, તમારા તો એકદમ લાભની જ છે। 300 યુનિટ સુધી મફત વીજળીનો કાર્યક્રમ। અને કાર્યક્રમ છે પીએમ સૂર્યઘર। पीएम सूर्यघर।
What is Mr. Gandhi trying to get at? Because this idea of OBC politics, caste census, etc. was a tried and failed idea as recently as the December elections in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh. So why is he trying to once again beat a drum which is hollow?
At the end of the day, their hard work, their merit does not matter. What their surname is, their caste, only that matters for Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Why is he taking an 80-year-old octogenarian's name and telling him that these are people dancing there? Is that not an outright insult to somebody's merit?
If a crown prince doesn't know that the Ram Lalla foundation stone was being laid by a Dalit, then I pity on him.
When the committees were formed, the farmer representatives and unions refused to be a part of it. They've come up with a solution where they're saying, okay, for certain crops, we want you to diversify and we're going to give you a guarantee for 5 years. Why is it that the farmers have rejected it outright?
Shaming voters that have not supported the Congress betrays a contempt for their right to choose, a right guaranteed by the Constitution. But even at a purely human level, Rahul's diatribe against the so-called quote drunks unquote exposes a lack of empathy.
A decision today, Julian's life is at severe risk every single day he is in prison. He is a political prisoner. He is the world's most famous political prisoner. We know what happened to the other most famous political prisoner last week.
Yeah, I'm not in the way.
allow Julian to be free. He's a political prisoner and he needs his freedom. He has been in prison for 5 years.
Thanks very much.
What condition is he in?
He's unwell. He's too unwell to attend.
And the trade union movement and our independent anti-women will be organising us to refuse to cooperate because in the end this machinery only works.
I don't think the point is to...
Military and diplomatic documents.
Shame on you, USA! Shame on you, USA! Shame on you, USA!
Libérez Julian Assange! Libérez Julian Assange!
Libérez Julian Assange! Libérez Julian Assange! Libérez Julian Assange! Libérez Julian Assange!
Il y a des manifestations tout le temps, tout le temps, tout le temps. Américain ou autre. C'est une justice injuste, illégale. C'est ça d'un journaliste, c'est bien de la démocratie dont il s'agit. Pourquoi? Parce que n'importe quel État.
C'est convoqué, qui a été convoqué.
Uruguay, Monaco, Germania.
Siamo di fronte all'ambasciata del Regno Unito. Non so se l'ambasciatore...
Canada, Toulon, Francia, Toulouse, Francia.
Abbiamo pensato di comporre... Qualcuno venga a reggerlo.
Welcome back. You're watching The Nation at 5 right here on CNN News 18. We're now bringing you an update. Our top story continuing to be in Sandeshkhali in West Bengal, where you remember over the last few weeks, hundreds of women coming forward armed with broomsticks and lathis, saying that local TMC leaders were responsible for systematic, number one, land grabbing is what they've said. But number two, they've also said forced exploitation and labor. And number three, most recently, 2 written complaints of gang rape. That's the most recent development in this story. Now, the TMC leader considered the kingpin in this entire story is Sheikh Shah Jahan. You might remember that a few days ago, the Calcutta High Court actually came down very strongly on Sheikh Shah Jahan. They said he needed to turn himself over. That's because, remember, he's been absconding since early January when the ED first went to question him and search his house. Now, the TMC also says that they don't know where their own leader is. We're going to continue to bring you updates from the ground. But remember, in West Bengal, the BJP is the opposition. They've been targeting the TMC leadership, most recently over the last day, releasing a documentary on what they say are accounts of victims from the ground. Take a look. These are reactions. We'll also play out ground reports. Our colleague Kamalika on the ground. Take a look.
ये इसलिए उसके जो डर हुआ है वो विश्वास सरकार उसके साथ लाना चाहिए, जो कैसे नहीं डरेंगे। लेकिन आप जो बोल रहे हैं सच है, अभी तक उसका मन में डर है। इसमें प्रशासन को इसलिए हम डीजी पुलिस चीफ सेक्रेटरी को रिपोर्ट मांगे हैं। हम जो ग्राउंड रियलिटी जो देखा है और डीजी पुलिस चीफ सेक्रेटरी क्या रिपोर्ट आ रहा है, उसी आधार में कमीशन अपना रिकमेंडेशन भी करेगा। ऐसे
अपने हाथ में लिया, उनके विरुद्ध व्यवस्था होगी।
ये बोलने की आजादी की जीत है। ये संदेशखाली में प्रताड़ित हुई शाहजहां के द्वारा उन महिलाओं की जीत है। और आज इस मंच से मैं पूछना चाहता हूं कि क्या हो चुका है ममता बनर्जी और उनकी सरकार को? इतनी निर्ममता वाली सरकार? आज ये टीएमसी का मतलब तृणमूल कांग्रेस नहीं, मैं कह सकता हूं तालिबानी मानसिकता और कल्चर बन चुका है कि एक तरफ जो शाहजहां हिंदू महिलाओं का बलात्कार करवाता है, हिंदू महिलाओं का बलात्कार करवाता है, जो उनका शारीरिक शोषण करवाता है और सिस्टमैटिक तरीके से संदेशखाली की महिलाएं, जो खास करके अनुसूचित जाति जनजाति से आने वाली महिलाएं, उनका शोषण और बलात्कार होता है। उनके अपराधियों को पकड़ने के बदले कभी आप किसी पत्रकार को पकड़ लेते हैं?
दीदी ये बताइए कि क्या हुआ था?
17 साल में मेरा लड़की लापता हो गई थी।
कितना साल की थी?
17 साल।
क्या हुआ था उसके बाद में?
वो स्कूल जाने के नाम पे निकली थी, लेकिन घर में आया नहीं।
आप पुलिस के पास गए थे?
पुलिस के पास गई थी।
पुलिस ने क्या बोला था?
पुलिस ने कहा था कि उत्तम सरदार शेख शाहजहां की सुपारिश चाहिए। मैंने जुटा नहीं पाया।
सुपारिश किस लिए? केस दर्ज करने के लिए?
हाँ, मेरे लड़की को ढूंढने के लिए मैं बोसीहाट में जो केस किया था उसकी कॉपी लेके गई तो बोला ये नहीं होगा, यहाँ रुपया चाहिए, नहीं तो सुपारिश चाहिए। मेरे पास दोनों में कुछ नहीं मिला, मेरा केस लिया नहीं।
तो आप शेख शाहजहां के पास नहीं गए थे क्या?
नहीं, मैं पहुंचा नहीं।
तो आपकी लड़की अभी कहाँ है, कैसे पता चला?
मैं ढूंढती रहती हूँ, मैं तो माँ हूँ लड़की की, कोई ना ढूंढे। माँ की चुप रहती है, माँ ढूंढते ढूंढते संबाद मिला है कि बेंगलुरु में इसको बेच दिया।
कहाँ से मिला ये संबाद?
कृष्णनगर में।
हाँ, ये जो कृष्णनगर गई थी वहाँ से, ये सब आपको कहाँ से कौन बोला?
कृष्णनगर में वो जो जिसके नाम हम बोल रहे हैं, बापा दास, विशाखा दास, पिंटू दास, शिका दास, वो कल्पित है। उसकी जो गांव है, गांव के आदमी नहीं बोला।
तो अभी आपने क्या बोला कमीशन को? और कल डीजी भी आए थे, उनको आप कुछ बोला?
मैंने बोला मेरे लड़की को ढूंढ के एक बार दिखा दीजिए, यही चाहती हूँ।
तो उन्होंने क्या बोला?
उन्होंने बोला कोशिश करेंगे।
तो ये जो सब यहाँ पे चल रहा है, क्या ये सच है कि यहाँ पे बहुत जुल्म चलता था?
क्या झूठ है? या झूठ होती तो ये इतने सारी महिलाएं, इतने सारे औरत, क्या ये एक ही बात दौड़ाती है?
আগে তো আমাদের ছেলে হতো না, এমনি খেলাধুলোই হতো, বড়াবড়ি খেলা হতো, মানে আমাদেরকে ঢুকতেই দিত না, আমাদের কোনো পরিষেবাই দিত না। এইটাই হচ্ছে, বাচ্চা কাচ্চাদের কোনো দিন ঢুকতে দিত না আমাদের। এইটাই আমরা শান্তি বা খুশি, এইটাই আমাদের বাচ্চা কাচ্চারা এইবার খেলা করবে, রাত দিন আমরাও আসবো, মাঠে খেলা দেখতে আসবো, আমরাও এইটাই।
Okay, we're now taking you to an entirely different story. We're taking you from West Bengal now to Karnataka, where you might remember over the last few hours, we've brought you politics that is playing out around a proposed framing of laws by the Karnataka government. Essentially, the Karnataka government is expected to bring in a number of policies that they're framing as we speak that will make it so that it is mandatory for multinational companies across the state to display how many Kannadiga, how many locals they are employing. So they'll actually have to display that, and the BJP is targeting the incumbent Congress government. What is the BJP saying? The BJP is saying for now that this is just a rule on paper. But you also have several luminaries in the tech and business fields in Karnataka, in Bengaluru in particular, which remember is a tech hub, and they're arguing that this could further hurt their business. Take a look. We've spoken to several senior leaders in the business sector. These are interviews. Take a look.
ಕೈಗಾರಿಕೆದೊಳಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಬೋರ್ಡನ್ನು ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಕೈಗಾರಿಕೆಯೊಳಗೆ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಚರ್ಚೆಗಳು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಅದು ಚರ್ಚೆಗಳಾಗಿದೆ. ನೇಮ ಮಾಡೋ ಹೊತ್ತಿನಾಗ ನಿಯಮಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಸಮಿತಿ ಇದೆ. ಆ ಸಮಿತಿ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷ ನಾನೇ ಇರೋದನ್ನು ಆ ನಿಯಮಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ಕೆಲಸ ಸಮಿತಿ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ನಾನೇ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರು. ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಇಲಾಖೆಯ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿಗಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಆ ಟೈಮ್ದೊಳಗೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಸಲಹೆಗಳನ್ನು ಶಾಸಕರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕೆಲವೊಂದಿಷ್ಟನ್ನು ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಮಲ್ಟಿ ಕಂಪ್ನಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಕೈಗಾರಿಕೆ ಕಂಪ್ನಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಪೂರ್ಣ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಯಮಗಳೊಳಗೆ ನಿರ್ಧಾರವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
This is only on paper. Whatever the government makes a statement, it will be just on paper. When it comes to the implementation, no government, no officers, they take interest. They just don't take interest. They just use all these things to harass the companies, not even a little bit of concern for the people of the Karnataka. It has become more of a political drama. This is nothing a political drama for the consumption, political consumption.
See, those were suggestions given to him during the debate on the Karnataka Language Act. Okay, that was discussed in council and assembly, and he's merely stated that all those things will be looked into. There is no act as of now. There is no demand from either an industry or from the people.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರು ಬರ್ಬೋದು ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಲೋಕಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಹಕ್ಕು ಇದೆ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರು ಬಂದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲ ರೀತಿ ಜನರು ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾರು ಇವರು ನಮ್ಮವರು ನಿಮ್ಮವರು ಅಂತ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಅಂದರೆ ಹಿಂದೂಸೇ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಇರೋದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ದುಡಿಬೇಕು. ಯಾರು ಇವ್ರು ಬೇಡ ಅವ್ರು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್.
देखिए कहीं ना कहीं ये अच्छा डिसीज़न है कि यहाँ के लोकल लोगों को आगे बढ़ने का मौका मिलना चाहिए, वो भी सही है. लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं सरकार को ये भी देखना चाहिए कि वो योग्य है, उनकी योग्यता के आधार पर डिसीज़न लेना चाहिए. क्योंकि कुछ कंपनियाँ बाहर से भी आ रही हैं और उससे क्या होता है कि हमारा आर्थिक जो बेंगलोर में जो आर्थिक स्थिति है वो भी अच्छा होता है. मतलब
हाँ, ये 100% लोकल पब्लिक के लिए लाभदायक होगा, लेकिन ये हो सकता है उल्टा भी पड़ जाए, क्योंकि ऑल ओवर कर्नाटक में बाहर के लोग भी बहुत हैं और जो नॉर्मली जो कंपनी वगैरह में काम करते हैं वो बाहर से ही आते हैं. तो उनके लिए तो पूरा भारत है, वो कहीं भी जाके कुछ भी काम कर सकते हैं.
Okay, we're now shifting focus. So we're taking you back now to a national story. Let's bring you an update on the upcoming elections. As we speak, we're talking about the general elections that are just a few months away. And this is an update on the INDIA bloc, which it seems over the last few days has been seeing good news after good news. Yesterday, we brought you the news that it seemed as if the Congress and the Samajwadi Party had arrived at an alliance that the two were happy with the Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav saying, all's well that ends well. Today, more bumper news for the Congress in particular, with the party arriving at an agreement with the Aam Aadmi Party. You might remember that despite announcing that the two would be in alliance in Punjab, they had broken off with the Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann, announcing that it is only the Aam Aadmi Party that would contest all of Punjab's seats. In Delhi, as we're telling you, today, finally, the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress both coming out and saying that on all 7 of Delhi's Lok Sabha seats, the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party will be running together. Now, critics, experts say that earlier the agreement was 5 seats that the Congress wanted of those 7. It seems as if the Congress has come down. 3 seats for Congress, 4 seats for Aam Aadmi Party is what it seems the two parties have agreed to. What led to this agreement and what made it happen? What does the future look like now for these two parties in particular and their reliance in other states? We'll take a look at all of that in just a second. First, take a look at reactions.
देखिए, मुझे लगता है कि उत्तर से लेकर दक्षिण तक जो ये तथाकथित इमेजिनरी अलायंस है, ममता दीदी ने कहा कि मैं अकेले लड़ूंगी बंगाल में। ममता दीदी ने कहा कि मैं लेफ्ट के साथ कतई समझौता नहीं कर सकती। ममता दीदी ने कहा कि 40 सीटें कांग्रेस की नहीं आने वाली है, 2 सीटें लड़ना है तो लड़ लो। पंजाब के इसी दल के एक होनहार मुख्यमंत्री है, उन्होंने कहा सबसे छोटी कहानी अगर बच्चों को सुनानी है तो वो कहानी है, एक थी कांग्रेस। सामने जवाब आया, एक था जोकर कांग्रेस के द्वारा। आए दिन खेरा की गिरफ्तारी पर कांग्रेस पार्टी आम आदमी पार्टी को डिक्टेटोरियल कहती है, फिर कहते हैं कि हम केंद्र में आकर लोकतंत्र बचाएंगे इनके साथ। कभी महाराष्ट्र में, महाभारत का तो संजय संवाद अलग है, परंतु महाराष्ट्र का संजय संवाद अलग हो जाता है। एक संजय दूसरे संजय से कहते हैं, मतलब संजय राउत संजय निरुपम से कहते हैं कि आपकी पार्टी तो 0 से स्टार्ट करेगी। संजय निरुपम संजय राउत से कहती है आपकी तो टूटी हुई पार्टी है, ये तो पूरी पार्टी ही नहीं है। फिर और दक्षिण में चले जाएं तो केरल में कांग्रेस पार्टी कहती है कि विजयन जी जो है वो भ्रष्टाचारी है, फैसिस्ट है, डिक्टेटर है, और सामने जवाब आता है कि वायनाड खाली करो, कम्युनिस्ट आती है। तो मुझे लगता है इस प्रकार की जब प्रतिक्रिया एक दूसरे के खिलाफ उन्हीं के साथी दे रहे हैं तो वही बताएं कि इनका गठबंधन है तो कहां है।
Okay, let's go over to our colleague Pallavi Ghosh to understand more. Pallavi, as we were telling our audiences, two sets of good news back to back for the Congress party. Uttar Pradesh, Delhi, these were supposed to be very complicated states for the Congress to be able to figure out its partnerships, and it has successfully managed to. What are the challenges that will remain in its existing partnership with, for example, the Aam Aadmi Party and other states that it's hoping to enter into, and with other regional parties?
Well, what I can tell you, Toya, is in the last state assembly elections, when we heard of UP ke ladke, when the Samajwadi Party and the Congress Party were in an alliance, the problem is that there was amicable seat sharing, the alliance was there to see. There were several joint rallies between Akhilesh Yadav and Rahul Gandhi. But what went wrong was that it was not translated on the ground. Political parties which have built up a cadre against each other, I mean, organically speaking, the Aam Aadmi Party has grown up at the cost of the Congress. So the party workers of AAP have been trained to take on the BJP as much as to take on the Congress. How do you guarantee that in the hustle and bustle of campaigning, those workers will, one, on the ground work in a coordinated manner together, and second, on seats which have been given to the Congress Party, for that matter, the AAP will ensure that there is a transfer of votes to the Congress Party and vice versa. That's a practical problem on the ground. It applies similarly in Uttar Pradesh, and I gave you that example to where in the last assembly election, that's precisely what happened. The Samajwadi Party workers were left wondering that all along we've been told to take on the Congress Party, and here now we are supposed to work along with them and take them along. So that is one practical problem, which is why one looks at this kind of alliance with a lot of cynicism. But also the fact remains is that at a time when the perception was going out that the India front is wilting, all is not well, this is certainly a shot in the arm. It's very good news, and possibly it will help in more smoothening out the seat sharing talks, and who knows, maybe with the TMC also, what was over makes possibly reopened now.
Okay, Pallavi, thank you for bringing us that. So, possible optimistic outlook coming in here for the INDIA and the Congress in particular, and its alliance with other opposition parties. Okay, we're going to head into a quick break. On the other side, in just a few minutes, more of the country's top stories. This is The Nation at 5.
Brought to you by
realization about what this is really about, which is an attack on the truth, an attack on the public's right to know, and a country's attempt to further their impunity and their cover-ups and continue to kill with impunity without the threat of a media that will scrutinize them, of a public that will demand change. That cannot stand. Everything turns on the outcome of this case.
It's not on the road, over here.
Julian's freedom is the only antidote. We don't have a decision today. Julian's life is at severe risk every single day he is in prison. He is a political prisoner. He is the world's most famous political prisoner. We know what happened to the other most famous political prisoner last week. That cannot happen to Julian.
That this farce be brought to an end, and that the courts allow Julian to be free. He's a political prisoner and he needs his freedom. He has been in prison for 5 years.
Thanks very much.
What condition is he in at the moment? He's unwell. He's too unwell to attend.
Well, exactly.
And the trade union movement and the independent organising us to refuse to cooperate because in the end this machinery only works.
No, I don't think the point is to
military and diplomatic documents.
Shame on you, USA! Shame on you, USA! Shame on you, USA!
Libérez Julian Assange! Libérez Julian Assange!
Libérez Julian Assange! Libérez Julian Assange! Libérez Julian Assange! Libérez Julian Assange!
Il y a des manifestations tout le temps, tout le temps, tout le temps. Américain ou autre. C'est une justice injuste, illégale.
L'histoire d'un journaliste, c'est bien de la démocratie dont il s'agit. Pourquoi? Parce que n'importe quel État.
C'était convoqué, qui a été convoqué.
Uruguay, Monaco, Germania. Siamo di fronte all'ambasciata del Regno Unito. Non so se l'ambasciatore Canada, Toulon, Francia, Toulouse, Francia.
Welcome back. You're watching The Nation at 5 right here on CNN News 18. We are now taking you to breaking news we've got regarding elections. Specifically, we're taking you to Gujarat and the breaking news that we've got coming in. A tweet put out by the now deceased Congress leader Ahmed Patel's son. He's dared the Gandhis of sorts. We'll just read it out to you. He said if the Bharuch Lok Sabha seat is allotted to the Aam Aadmi Party under the alliance in the next Lok Sabha elections, neither I nor the conscientious workers of the Congress Party will support the candidate of the Aam Aadmi Party. Remember, he's saying this after the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress have reached an agreement in Delhi. Gujarat is one of the other states where it's been said that the two parties will coordinate. This is, I believe, Faisal Patel, the son of the Congress leader Ahmed Patel, who, remember, as we told you, passed away in 2020. Let's go over to our colleague Pallavi to understand more on this entire story. Pallavi, just bring our audience's context about that one Lok Sabha seat in particular, why Faisal Patel has put out this statement, and the larger context here, please.
Well, I mean, see, Faisal Patel and Ahmed Patel actually comes in from Bharuch, that was his area, and both his son and daughter, Faisal Patel and
All right, we've lost our connection with my colleague Pallavi. She was giving us context on why it is that Faisal Patel has put out this tweet. But you know, what is particularly interesting is that Faisal Patel is someone who has in the past too expressed his discontentment with the Congress Party. We'll bring you more on that in just a second. My colleague Pallavi back with more context. Pallavi, over to you.
yes, so Toya, Bharuch was the constituency of Ahmed Patel, and after his death, his children, that is both Mumtaz Patel, who is also officially a member of the Congress Party, and Faisal Patel. Mumtaz Patel particularly had expressed her desire to contest elections from there. As you already know, the Aam Aadmi Party has announced a seat in Permits Kitty for Lok Sabha elections, and now with AAP and the Congress Party tying up, Toya, which means the Bharuch would go the way of Aam Aadmi Party, and that is unacceptable to the children of Ahmed Patel, because you know AAP has been eating into that particular constituency inch by inch, and therefore you see what you see. And this is exactly what we are talking about. I mean, at the top level, the alliances may be stitched, but at the ground level, how do you ensure that the party workers work along with each other? And what about the individual ambitions of leaders who belong to that particular area? That's going to be one huge problem, and you just got a small slice of what you've got to just see a small slice of what can go wrong at the ground level.
Can you also tell our audiences a little bit more about the Congress Aam Aadmi Party dynamics at play in other states? We've obviously discussed Punjab in depth, now Delhi in depth. What are the other states possibly on the radar?
Toya, when initially the seat sharing talks were being mulled and India Front Alliance also had AAP, the feedback which was given to a top leadership was that AAP has always grown at the cost of the Congress party. And in state after state where there's a direct fight between the BJP and the Congress, the entry of AAP as a third party cut into the anti-BJP votes. And we saw what happened in Goa. The AAP won 1 seat. In Gujarat, they won 5 seats. And the Congress performance was... That was the logic which was given by the Congress workers against any alliance with the Aam Aadmi Party. That is something which the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress leaders seem to have agreed upon. That, for now, let's have alliance. We are going to compromise a bit, but at the end of the day, let us also keep in mind the fact that AAP should be given a seat as far as Gujarat and Goa is concerned.
Okay, I just want to understand more from you right now, Pallavi, about what the ground dynamics between the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress in Gujarat have looked like. In Punjab, it's been clear that it's been full of acrimony. In Delhi, obviously, there was acrimony, but they see eye to eye now. What does it look like in Gujarat over the last few months?
Well, it was quite acrimonious, Toya, even at the ground level between the Congress and the AAP in Gujarat. Because I remember when we had gone there to cover the elections, it's a straight fight between the BJP and the Congress. The Congress, from a position of strength, has started losing out because the AAP will obviously grow at the cost of the Congress because it moves into an anti-BJP space. And that's pretty much the argument which was given by the Congress workers, especially in Gujarat, that, if you are going to think of an alliance with them, AAP will never ever let us grow. So why are you even thinking of this kind of an alliance?
Okay, and Pallavi, can you also tell us, some reports suggesting that it was the hope that Mumtaz Patel would actually be given the seat, this particular seat. Can you give us context there?
Well, as I just mentioned, Bharuch has been the constituency of the seat and the hometown of Ahmed Patel. And after his death, much of the work was carried out by Mumtaz Patel. Though Faisal Patel has not been that active, but Mumtaz Patel is a part of the Congress party in the sense that she is a primary AICC member, and therefore she was hopeful that she would be given a Lok Sabha seat from there. Now, in case of this alliance which has been stitched up, if there was no alliance, she could have still contested and got a ticket from there. But now clearly, because of the alliance and understanding on Goa, if the AAP doesn't backtrack, then she is the one who loses out on the ticket. And that explains why Faisal Patel, her brother, has come out with this particular tweet.
Pallavi, thank you for bringing us the picture on the ground in Gujarat. So we just brought you two very optimistic stories for the INTI, but right now it seems trouble brewing on the horizon, particularly in Gujarat. Okay, we're going to move on now. When taking you from this story now back up north, we're taking you to Uttar Pradesh. Now, today as we speak, it is 1 month since the formal inauguration of the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya. We brought you in depth what the on-the-ground situation looked like, the kind of decorations and preparations that were done for lakhs of people to travel down to Ayodhya from across the country. What we're bringing you now is slightly different. 1 month on, after the inauguration and after it was opened entirely to the public, my colleague Aman Sharma visits the ground. In this next ground report, he brings you conversations he's had with traders, shopkeepers on the ground about how their lives have been changed, and with those who are visiting the Ram Mandir. Take a look.
The huge rush in Ayodhya, over 2 lakh people coming daily here, and the two holy items that everybody wants to take home. One is, of course, the replica of the new Ram temple, and you can see these replicas here. The shopkeeper here told us lot of interest amongst people. People want to take the Sri Ram temple replica home, place it in their small temples at home, worship it, because this is the memory which everybody wants to take. And the realization that after 500 years, the new Ram temple has become ready, and we see a large number of people, evincing interest in this. But the second major item, which we are seeing a lot of interest in, is the picture of the new Lord Ram deity. You can see posters of the new Lord Ram deity's picture, small items. Everybody wants to take the picture home. There are, these kind of mandir mein you can hang these items, which have the Lord Ram deity, and many shopkeepers and people who are buying this tell us that this is like taking Lord Ram home, and a very beautiful sight. People say that it gives them great pleasure to buy these items. हम देख रहे हैं कि राम लला जी की जो फोटो की आईडी इसकी बहुत डिमांड है, तो क्या लोग इसी को ज़्यादा पसंद कर रहे हैं अब घर ले जाने के लिए?
जी बिल्कुल, यही माल बिक रहा है यहाँ पर। इसके अलावा और कोई भगवान देवता का माल नहीं बिक रहा है। इतना डिमांड है कि माल जैसे लगाओ जैसे ख़त्म हो जाता है, माल मिलता नहीं है।
भाई साहब, अभी जब पिछली बार हम आए थे 1 महीना पहले, तो सबसे ज़्यादा डिमांड रामलला जी के मंदिर की थी। अब रामलला जी के फोटो की भी डिमांड बढ़ गई है। जी,
इस समय फोटो वगैरह की भी डिमांड बढ़ गया है। राम मंदिर मॉडल आपके चल ही रहे हैं, रामलला जी की मूर्ति वगैरह भी आ गई है। ये सब की डिमांड बहुत ज़्यादा है।
तो क्या प्राइस है यहाँ पे? तो ये तो काफ़ी महंगा दिख रहा है, 3,500
रुपये का।
अच्छा, ये फिर भी बिक रहा है।
अब लोग जो प्रेमी है तो ले ही जा रहे हैं
जी।
ऐसे राम भक्त सब ही हैं
जी।
इस समय पूरा अयोध्या राम में हुआ है।
अयोध्या राम में हुआ, और बिजनेस भी बढ़ गया है।
बिजनेस तो काफी बढ़ गया सर।
खुश हैं बिजनेसमैन भी?
बिल्कुल खुश हैं, बिल्कुल खुश हैं, कोई नाराजगी नहीं है। ना पहले थी ना आज है।
जी।
तोड़ फोड़ हुआ तब भी नाराजगी कोई नहीं थी।
जी।
थोड़ा कष्ट झेला हम लोगों ने 1-2 साल, लेकिन अब सब सुकून है।
A very helpful service for people who are old and infirm. This free wheelchair service being run by the Tirat Trust for people going to the temple. Wheelchair की कितनी सुविधा है भाई साहब?
जी,
व्हीलचेयर की सुविधा कितनी है?
बहुत अच्छी है
जी,
बहुत बढ़िया है।
कितना उम्र है आपका भाई साहब?
हमारी 85 साल।
85 साल, क्या बात है। रामलला के दर्शन इस उम्र में भी?
अब रामलीला के दर्शन करना आए रामलला के।
With over 50 lakh people coming to Ayodhya in the last 1 month, Ayodhya is already the global spiritual capital of the world. It's a record for any religious tourism site, not just in India, but perhaps even the world. Devotees who are here.
Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. After weeks of negotiations and bargaining, the India Alliance partners, Congress and Aam Aadmi Party, have almost clinched the Delhi deal, with the former agreeing to fight on 4 seats and actually yielding as much as 3 for the Congress. Now, sources in both parties have said the deal is done. The announcement of the nitty-gritties will take place very soon. Top Congress sources say that it was Mallikarjun Kharge, the current Congress president, and Rahul Gandhi, the former Congress president, who stepped in and brokered this deal after a crucial meeting with Raghav Chadha and Arvind Kejriwal last month, which was also the big clincher for the Chandigarh polls. A climb down from the Congress on demand for seats was needed to come to a consensus. Congress was initially seeking as many as 5 seats in Delhi, but had to agree to 3. The Congress climb down may also have been a major factor behind sealing of the UP deal, which was announced yesterday. Party sources suggest Priyanka Gandhi's role was crucial in that alliance. Overall, with 17 in UP and 3 in Delhi, Congress seems to have managed much better than initially envisaged, given its flaying vote share and partners' open jibes on its inability to beat the BJP and win seats. More importantly, at a time when the India bloc seems to be breaking apart after a spate of setbacks and continuous delays in seat sharing, pacts in the big state of UP and now Delhi indicate a willingness to work together despite odds and internal rivalries. Or is it just plain survivalism? Because the question remains, how much of it does really matter? Particularly in states like UP and Delhi, Does two opposition parties, even the two biggest opposition parties coming together matter given the BJP's recent performances? Will the arithmetic add up to beat the BJP in the upcoming Lok Sabha polls? We'll take that question to our guest joining us in just a bit. So is India getting back on track, the India bloc? Let's break down for you the current status where the partners have finalized the deal. So as I mentioned just last evening, UP was sealed and it was announced, and both parties have arrived on a consensus: 63 for the Samajwadi Party, 17 for the Congress Party. In Delhi, Congress and AAP sources have confirmed the former will fight on 3 and the latter will fight on 4, and the formal announcement is going to happen very, very soon. In Haryana too, there is an in-principle agreement. We are being told Congress on 9 seats, the Aam Aadmi Party likely to get 1. Talks are in the final stages. In Gujarat too, the Aam Aadmi Party may contest on as many as 2 to 3 seats. Now there is some trouble brewing for the alliance of Congress and Aam Aadmi Party in Gujarat, and that is also another factor that we'll discuss later on. But in Assam too, there seems to be an understanding between the Aam Aadmi Party and Congress. It is likely to fight on 1 seat. In Madhya Pradesh already, Samajwadi Party announced yesterday that they will be getting 1 seat. The Khajuraho seat, the Congress will fight on the remaining 28. But there are still some key states where Congress or the India bloc will need alliances and proper seat sharing, and many of them are pending. Very important state of Maharashtra. It has as many it has, a hodgepodge of parties, first of all, some with the BJP alliance, and then some, of course, with the Congress. And the Congress is feeling a lot of pressure here of yielding more than it wants to its NVA partners. It has a huge chunk of seats as far as Lok Sabha is concerned, and this is going to be a crucial state for all concerned. Then, of course, is Bihar, 40 seats. Seat sharing is pending here, but it may not be that big a conundrum because some of these parties have fought together in the past. JDU, of course, has left. West Bengal is a setback. The TMC has already refused to share with the Congress and the left. Punjab also is one of those states where the alliance doesn't seem to be happening. The Aam Aadmi Party and Congress will possibly contest separately. And another one of those states where the left and the Congress are bitter rivals is Kerala. They are again the 1 and the 2 party with a distant BJP or others in number 3. So they don't really see the sense in coming together. Let's also take a look at how Delhi voted in the last Lok Sabha elections, which will give you an idea of the question I'm asking. Will the arithmetic truly upset the BJP or not? Now, the Aam Aadmi Party secured a vote share of 18.2%. Congress a vote share of 22.6%, and BJP a whopping vote share of 56.86%, so virtually 57%, and won all the 7 Lok Sabha seats for a second consecutive time. So important to note here that even if the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress were to come together, its vote share will fall short by 15% than what the BJP got. To imagine a swing strong enough in one cycle to overcome this deficit is going to be difficult to imagine. Similarly, in Uttar Pradesh, look at how the public voted in 2019. Samajwadi Party securing 18.1% vote share, it won 5 seats. Congress secured only 6.3% vote share, won only 1 seat. BJP was far ahead, leaving behind the opposition parties with a vote share again of a whopping near 50%. In that Lok Sabha elections, it's also important to remember the SP fought in an alliance with the BSP and the RLD. BSP managed about 20% vote share, RLD just short of 2%. But this time around, none of these parties are actually aligned with the Samajwadi Party or the opposition bloc. It could be argued that the Samajwadi Party more or less retains this vote share. They didn't really benefit from the BSP alliance. The BSP benefited more from the SP vote. But still, even if you were to combine the vote share of the Samajwadi Party and the Congress, can it give a fight to the BJP is a big question. So that's the big debate coming up. Will the arithmetic beat the BJP despite these seat pacts?